better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Diving into another week of OU football and recruiting talk here on Locked In. You're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. PT alongside G Sizzle. Yeah, it kind of just sounds like we're 8th graders that came up with rap names for when we freestyle during homeroom.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, Parker Thune alongside Grayson Singleton here to talk primarily OU football and recruiting with you here for the next hour. The show brought to you today and every day by Dorsey Jones Buick GMC out in El Reno. Family owned and operated, established in 2020, but many of their employees have been with the company for more than 20 years. They pride themselves on having the best service technicians and friendly service advisors that put your needs first. And they've got half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Get in touch with them for more info. So many reasons to head out to El Reno and check out Dorsey Jones Buick GMC. If you want to engage throughout the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, that is always available to you at 405-651-3439. Now, we have a lot of ground to cover because it was a big, big weekend for Oklahoma as far as recruiting is concerned. But I saw this come across the wire. I have to bring this up because this is hilarious to me. If you were paying attention, I don't know why any of you would be paying attention. Maybe we have like 2 or 3 Cleveland Browns fans that listen to this show. But this morning, Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam addressed the team's now infamous trade for Deshaun Watson. And, I mean, Grayson, this is a first-ballot Hall of Fame nomination. All-time, like, straight under-the-bus moments in sports. Because he said the following. We took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. The trade was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D&I, so hold us accountable. Grayson, Deshaun Watson is still a Cleveland Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes that comment especially hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Is Deshaun Watson is still the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Jimmy Haslam just basically said, we really screwed the pooch when we decided to acquire our starting quarterback as of right this second.
I think the reason he feels confident saying that now is because he's not going to play next year because he, I guess, re-ruptured his Achilles while trying to come back from rupturing it the first time.
I mean, it's just one of the absolute worst trades in the history of sports and somehow looks worse and worse with every year that passes. It got me thinking, like, when was the last time we heard an OU coach throw a player under the bus like that? I cannot recall anything. Okay, I guess maybe in the 2021 season, the last year that Lincoln Riley and his staff were here. Alex Grinch, at one point, more or less in his unpunctuated, rambling Grinch speak, called Shane Witter a worthless piece of flotsam and said he needed to take more accountability, a lot more of it. That's about the only time I can recall a coach directly calling a player out publicly like that and saying, yeah, this guy sucks.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I think of when Brian Callahan just took Will Levis to town this past year in the media.
I do not recall this, but I also don't pay attention to the Tennessee Titans.
Neither do I, but he after like 3 games went on a diatribe in the media about how pissed off he was at Will Levis.
To be fair, if Will Levis was my quarterback, I'd be pissed off too.
Very true. Very true.
It'd be the same if I was Deshaun, or if Deshaun Watson was my quarterback. If I was Deshaun Watson, oh boy, would not want to be living his life.
No. He just got engaged, though.
He did?
Yeah, like a week or 2 ago.
Congrats to him, I suppose. It's going to be some uncomfortable premarital counseling sessions. Chris from Knoxville said Jimmy Haslam deserves to be in the Hall of Fame of sports morons. Well, maybe he and Deshaun Watson can be enshrined together.
What kind of bust would that be?
Ugh. There's a lot of jokes I could make there. I won't make any of them.
Yeah.
I won't make any of them.
Yep.
It's okay. We'll keep it PG here. Okay, Grayson, let's dive in. Oklahoma had a bunch of visitors in town on Saturday for the scrimmage. They actually had 2 scrimmages end of last week, one on Thursday, one on Saturday. They had some guys in town for the Thursday scrimmage. They had a lot more in town for the Saturday scrimmage. Where we need to start, and we mentioned him at the tail end of last week, he was actually on campus for 3 days. 3 days. The number 1 prospect in the state of South Carolina, Desmond Green, interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 330 pounds, Timberland High School in the city of St. Stephen. He was around for both scrimmages. He was here Thursday through Saturday. And Oklahoma is going to get him back on campus for an official visit June 6th through the 8th. The Sooners have very much given themselves a chance here. And obviously it's going to be tough to pull a kid from out of that region when you have Clemson and Georgia and Florida State and all of the likely suspects involved in a recruitment like that. But if you're showing up on your own dime, and as I understand, he drove, didn't fly, drove 1,100 plus miles halfway across the country to spend 3 days in Norman, Oklahoma, that demonstrates legit interest, does it not?
It does. I mean, I have no interest, whether I have interest in a school or not, I have no interest in driving from South Carolina to Oklahoma. I'm not a big road trip guy. I think Alabama's in this as well, too.
Yes.
As I looked. I like Desmond Green a lot, though. There's a simple way to put Desmond Green's impact on a game. He can move some furniture. And he's huge. So no, this would be that would be a massive get if Oklahoma's able to outbid, and that might come down to a bidding war. If Oklahoma's able to outbid or at least hang with them in terms of the financials, with Florida, with Georgia, all those, that's a hell of a get for them.
Desmond Green is a very, very imposing presence on the interior offensive line. And that would be an incredible pull for Oklahoma from a region where, Bill Bedenbaugh has been able to have some success outside the central time zone. He's been able to pull guys from here and there and everywhere. You think back to the 2024 cycle when he landed Eddie Pierre-Louis out of Tampa, right? Or he goes up to the Northeast to Penn State's backyard in the 2023 class to reel in Logan Howland. That was the very same year that he decided, you know what, we're going to offer this kid up in Snoqualmie, Washington, named Heath Ozida. They landed him as well. And so Bedenbaugh is fortunate enough to have developed a strong enough reputation as a developer of talent that the geographical obstacle, the barrier that geography creates, is more easily overcome for offensive linemen than at other positions across the board. So it remains to be seen where Oklahoma will sit with Desmond Green when all is said and done and it comes time to make a decision. But no doubt they've given themselves a chance. They have given themselves a chance, hosting him on a 3-day unofficial visit, getting him back to campus June 6th through the 8th for an OV to try and seal the deal. I'm still a little bit of a skeptic. Still kind of feels a little bit too good to be true that they could land a guy like Desmond Green over some of the involved parties in play for his services. But I think the great thing about the way that Bill Bedenbaugh has played his hand in the 2026 cycle, Grayson, is that it doesn't feel like Oklahoma's going to be up a creek if they don't get Desmond Green. Doesn't feel like, oh, well, now you're scouring the rest of the board for a fallback option, because Oklahoma is in really good standing with several interior offensive line prospects, another one of whom was in town on Saturday and has been in Oklahoma lean for a long, long time. This is a kid that I'm very comfortable projecting into Oklahoma's class, and did less than 20 minutes after he got the offer last summer at an Oklahoma camp. I'm talking about Midlothian's Noah Best. Now, for those unfamiliar with Noah Best, he originally is from the state of Oklahoma. Grew up in Owasso, relocated to the DFW Metro, I believe maybe 6th, 7th grade. Regardless, he's at Midlothian now. He has been at Oklahoma a lot since he got the offer last June. The Sooners battling Missouri and SMU primarily in the race for his services. The vibes are good with Noah Best. Very good. Very strong. And that's one that I can foresee coming to an end before official visit season. If we're trying to project who might make an early decision, who's a guy that, heck, maybe he comes off the board in the month of April. I think Noah Best is one of those guys that's right at the top of the list for me.
And a guy like him, because you have such a great chance of landing him, makes guys like Desmond Green more of a luxury than a necessity. And that's always that's always the space you want to be in. You want to be operating out of abundance, not out of desperation, because that's when, adverse things can happen, is when you're trying to do things out of desperation. So Noah Best is, and look, Noah Best is no consolation prize if you don't get Desmond Green. Noah Best is quite the football player too. And that's just one guy that we've talked about that Bill Beatenbow is in on. Carter Scruggs is a guy I really, really like. And to that, and I see you pointing at me, and I'm going to transition that to you. What's the latest on him?
Coming back April 10th through 12th. He will be on campus for 3 straight days as well. So I don't, as of last check, he has not scheduled the official visit with OU yet. But we've talked about the OU ties with Carter Scruggs, the family out in the Shawnee area. He's been to campus a couple different occasions. Saw the main game last November. But, yeah, he's going to be back April 10th through the 12th. So he will get to see their last spring practice on the 10th, and then he will get to see the Crimson Combine for whatever that's worth on the 12th.
What do you think? Because Michigan's involved here, and there's a lot of other prestigious programs involved here with Carter Scruggs. What's your feeling on the Sooners' chance to land him?
Well, it's not a sexy answer, but I still feel that that's a very open process going into OV season. So if Oklahoma can get on the calendar with him for an official, then I think they've got as strong of a chance as anybody. But I couldn't even tell you. Like, if you ask me right now, where does Carter Scruggs commit? There's no one school that I would say they've emerged as even a slight leader for him. Still feels like he's open to several different possibilities. Michigan, Clemson, Penn State, certainly Oklahoma. Those tend to be the fun recruitments, some of the fun recruitments. The ones where, you go into official visit season every single year, and there are probably 5 or 6 of these where it legitimately could go any direction based on how the OVs go for these guys. And so given that he's got his full suite of official visits to take and no clear leader has emerged as of yet to this point, I think that'll be a fun one to track. You'd like to see Oklahoma pick up some steam, certainly, in the aftermath of that April 10th through 12th unofficial visit. But they'll fight the battle with Carter Scruggs. They're actively fighting the battle with Gene Reardon, another tackle target out of Hinsdale, Illinois. And then, of course, Deacon Schmidt was another guy that was on campus. I like Oklahoma in that race, have for a long time. I think they solidified their status as the clear leader going into OV season with Deacon Schmidt over the weekend when he was back on campus. It's funny. It was last Friday. Yes, last Friday during the round of 32, I believe, that we drafted the very first premium cracker all-tourney team.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Bill Beatenbow's putting himself together a premium cracker 2026 recruiting class. Think about it. What's the common denominator here? Will Conroy, Noah Best, Deacon Schmidt, Gene Reardon, Carter Scruggs. I can go on.
Yeah, pretty much. And Carter Scruggs, just by name alone, is probably the only one that you could think maybe he may not be in this same demographic.
Gunny of Stutzman Army on the text line says, I have a friend I could introduce you to that makes road trips way better, Grayson.
Sure, but what if I'm the one driving?
What if? There's a whole song about this.
There is.
Hotel California.
Uh-huh, yeah. I don't know if I want to be the person that song gets written about.
It's a legendary guitar solo. One of the greatest of all time. I was tapping through Instagram Reels last night, and I ran across somebody covering the Hotel California guitar solo. I was reminded of just how legendary that, I guess, is it a solo or is it a coda? What's the correct musical term there? Either way. Great bit of shredding happening towards the tail end of that song.
Kyle from Salisaw on the text line. On a serious note, thank you, I'm bringing my wife and son to the Crimson Combine. They've never been to Norman, so I'm looking to sharing my love with them. Is there any way I could get a meet and greet with you guys when we get there? Maybe sign a football for my son in case my son can't get any of the players to sign it.
Yeah, look, I'll be real with you, Kyle. I don't know that my autograph and or Grayson's autograph going to be worth anything a couple decades from now. I don't really know what my schedule is going to look like the day of the Crimson Combine. I don't even know how we're going to go about covering the Crimson Combine, what we're going to be permitted to cover, what the event actually practically looks like and is going to consist of. But I'm sure we can arrange something. Ping us again the week of the Crimson Combine, and maybe we can lay some more concrete plans. But yeah, definitely would love to meet you. Love to interact with all of you. I was at Old School Bagel Cafe this morning, and somebody walked past me and said, "How's it going, Mr. Thune?" I had no idea who this person was.
Oh, no.
This happens occasionally. And I always find it awkward because, there are certain people that will come up and, introduce themselves to me, which is great. Love meeting new people, love meeting listeners. But it always does weird me out a little bit when somebody just greets me, addresses me, and then gives no context as to, where they know me from or how they know me. Because then I find myself wondering, should I know who you are? Have we met before? Am I just spacing on this? There's a great lack of clarity in my brain for probably 20, 30 minutes thereafter.
Well, here's my question, though. Do you let people call you Mr. and Sir?
I mean, do I let people?
Well,
sure.
Okay, because I work around high schoolers all the time, going out calling games, stuff like that. And sometimes people will call me Sir, or they would miss somebody call me Mr. Singleton. I was like, don't ever do that again. At best, I am 6 years older than you. Do not call me Sir. No. I don't like that.
I just kind of roll with it, man. People call me a great variety of things.
Is that good?
Well, many of them will call me Parker. Some of them will call me Mr. Thune. A lot of them, especially in the last year or two, will call me PT. I'm just kind of cool with any of it. Any and all of it.
As long as it's not insinuating that I'm 40. We're cool.
What title, what honorific would insinuate that you're 40?
Mr. or Sir.
Oh, okay.
I don't want high schoolers calling me Sir.
Dang.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm still over here, I don't, not that I'm still a high schooler at heart, but I'm not that much older than you.
Good reference from Gunny on the text line. Some people call me Maurice. If only we had a little Steve Miller to send us to break. But we don't, because we're on YouTube, and YouTube nukes our stream anytime we use copyrighted music. So, folks, we will go to break with some decidedly non-copyrighted music that is in the public domain and return on the other side with more OU football and Crootin Talk here on Locked In. You're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Stay here.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak. Do you eat, sleep, and breathe football? KREF is the only place for the most comprehensive daily analysis of Sooner and college football. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it, The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
Are you in need of purchasing your own health insurance? Are you turning 65 and confused about Medicare? Are you an employer looking at offering benefits to your staff? Call the agents at Allison Insurance. They'll sort through the confusion. They're not captive to just one company, and they'll get the best option for you. Don't get frustrated. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. Allison Insurance. They are the experts.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tina Floyd, your Norman School Board President. I'm running to continue representing our students because I believe that every child deserves a quality education and a bright future. As a mother of Norman Public School graduates, I know we need strong leadership to prioritize students so that all students can succeed. I'd be honored to earn your vote on April 1st. Visit floydfornorman.com to learn more.
Paid for and authorized by Tina Floyd for Norman School Board.
A luxury experience awaits you at the Artesian Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Relax in one of our elegant suites, complete with exclusive dining options. Take a trip to the Serenity Spa and let your cares melt away, or enjoy upscale shopping in our many boutiques. And don't forget to explore your gaming options for your chance to win big. Find your luxury experience at the Artesian Hotel, Casino, and Spa, 1001 West 1st Street, Sulphur, Oklahoma. Call 1-855-455-5255 or visit artesianhotel.com for complete details.
Are you looking to elevate your golf game in 2025? Westwood Golf Course in Norman can help. Now's the time to get your annual memberships, and they're open 7 days a week. The 50th annual Westwood Invitational is July 4th, 5th, and 6th, so be sure to register early this year. Play after 2 p.m. for just $28 or after 5 p.m. for just $23. You can always book your tee time at westwoodparkgolf.com, and don't forget to visit the Turn Grill inside Westwood, one of the local gyms in Norman.
Life is yours to spend. Spend it expanding your balance. Spend it expanding your mind. Spend it wondering what comes next. Spend it trusting that God has a plan. Spend it taking small steps in your own life. Spend it making a big impact on someone else's. First United Bank. Spend life wisely.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mike Steele here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems.
A 405 listener on the text line, Grayson, says, if a kid's calling you sir, that means they've been raised correctly to show respect. I would say that's generally true.
Yeah. By the way, it's nothing negative on the kid if they call me sir. It's just me at 23 years old not wanting to be called sir.
That's Grayson's way of saying, it's not me, it's not you, it's me.
Don't even start with that. Who else was Tommy on the text line said, at 47, I still find it weird sometimes. He also said, okay, being in the 40s is not bad. No, I guess it's not bad, but I would like to not feel like I'm in my 40s when I'm 17 years away from being in my 40s.
He'll sneak up on you quick.
So I've been told.
Mm-hmm. I feel so much older now than I did at your age.
Do you feel so much older because you own a house?
No, I really don't. Like, I look back now, I was like, man, I'll look back on something that happened during my college years or like immediately post-college years, and it's like, man, that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like ever since I got to college, ever since I turned 18, time has started to tick a lot faster. I have regrettable news for you. One prospect that we have talked quite a bit about in recent weeks, as far as Oklahoma's chances to land their services, as far as what they bring to the table as a player, four-star Muscle Shoals, Alabama defensive end Kamarian Johnson. He is no longer going to take an official visit with Oklahoma, I'm told. He had been scheduled to come back for the Champ U barbecue. He had teased a potential unofficial visit at the spring game, or what was at that time expected to be the spring game, which is now the Crimson Combine. That is no longer occurring. And so you would conclude naturally that the Sooners are kind of going to fade from contention there, because if you're not getting an OV, you're probably not getting the kids' commitment. The amount of kids that commit without taking an OV to your school, you're talking about an infinitesimal percentage of the blue chip talent year in and year out. Guys that will commit to a school before or without taking OV. I guess you get guys that come off the board early, but guys that go into OV season uncommitted and OV to several different schools, generally they're going to be picking one of those schools, not a school from outside that contingent. So, does not look like Oklahoma will be the landing spot for Kamarian Johnson. I threw in a new Rivals Futurecast prediction this morning. I like Oklahoma to land 3-star defensive back Ryan Gilbert out of North Forney High School down in Forney, Texas. Interestingly, he's a high school teammate of Adrian Peterson's younger brother, Nelson Peterson Jr. You're giving me a look.
Wait, hold on. This kid that Oklahoma's recruiting now is high school teammates with Adrian Peterson's younger brother?
Listen, you got to understand, Nelson Peterson Sr., the OG, the man has gotten around in his day.
Clearly. Has gotten? More like possibly is. Present tense.
Nelson Peterson Jr., yes, he is Adrian Peterson's younger half-brother. He is the quarterback at North Forney High School and a 3-star prospect in his own right. Has a few offers here and there, but Ryan Gilbert is a kid that was committed to Texas A&M for many months. I want to say July of last year through January, February of this year, perhaps. Decommitted from the Aggies, hit the open market once again. Oklahoma very quickly emerged as a front runner, the front runner for his services. They have been a front runner. I think this weekend it became clear that they are the front runner because he returned to Norman for the third time in 10 weeks. He was on campus January 25th. He was on campus March 8th for Future Freaks. He was back on campus this past Saturday for the scrimmage. So we say follow the visits in recruiting. It's not always indicative of where the kid's going to end up, but generally, the overwhelming majority of the time, it's going to give you the best clue. Ryan Gilbert has been to Oklahoma a ton. Sooners primarily battling SMU there, but they look poised to get it done. He has a commitment date on the schedule. He's going to lock in his commitment on May 15th. So,
okay,
I like Oklahoma for Ryan Gilbert. That would be the first addition at cornerback in the 2026 class for Oklahoma, and on a broader scale, that would be the first defensive commit of the entire cycle if May 15th rolled around and Oklahoma did not pick up any prospects, any commitments from 2026 prospects until Ryan Gilbert makes his announcement. So you have that.
Let me ask you this one thing before you transition.
Yep.
Do you think it makes it a more likely chance he goes to Oklahoma because he's doing this before OV season? This commitment, like before the June OV season?
Yes. If you're shutting it down before OV season, generally what that says is you have a very strong idea of where you want to be And given how many times Ryan
Exactly.
Gilbert has been at Oklahoma, yep.
Exactly where I was going with
the
that.
arrow points in one direction right now. The Waffler on the text line says, Mr. Thune, I think EPL didn't visit Norman. He actually did. He took an official visit. He didn't commit until a long, long time thereafter, but he did take an official visit to Oklahoma. Took some pretty awesome OV pictures while he was in town. I recall that specifically. A 405 listener brings up the example of Jet New. And, yeah, every so often you will get a circumstance like that where Oklahoma is just – Oklahoma being the program that it is, having the aura and the mystique that it does, it'll blow a kid away every now and again, especially a kid like Jet New where, at the time he was committed to Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State was pretty objectively the best offer he had.
Mm-hmm.
You get an offer from a school like Oklahoma, yeah. That one is going to leave a very, very strong impression. And for Jet New, he didn't even need to see it. He could have held off on signing. He decided, nope, I'm going to sign with Oklahoma tomorrow. I'll take my official visit after the fact. And that's what happened.
And you did put sometimes we call these Weaslers, but you did put the caveat on there. Like you were talking about blue chippers.
Yes.
Yeah, which Jet New probably doesn't fall into that category of a blue chipper. Like you mentioned, Oklahoma State was his most prestigious offer until Ben Arbuckle came in there and just snatched him out of Stillwater.
And if you're not familiar with the term blue chip and its significance, and there are some people who aren't, like I'll get asked from time to time, when you say blue chip, what do you mean? Blue chipper is any prospect that is at least a 4-star. 4- and 5-star guys, those are what we consider blue chippers. And Jet New, being a mid-grade 3-star, not a blue chipper. Great player, though. There's a lot of promise with him. Man, having conversations with a couple of different program sources after the scrimmage Saturday, and he did get picked off by Cortland Guillory. Cortland got him, which, happens. But there's been some very, very positive buzz surrounding Jet New to this point in spring. And obviously everybody's expectation is this kid's going to redshirt. He's going to have to wait his turn. It's not like he's going to usurp Michael Hawkins and John Mateer as a true freshman. And no one is even approaching that conversation. But the things that I've heard repeatedly about Jet New are that kid's competitive as all get out. He wants to be at Oklahoma. He wants to make it work here. He goes about his business the right way, treats everybody with respect, and is just absolutely determined to, at some point, be the starting quarterback at the University of Oklahoma, and is working to that effect. They said, measurably, in the immediate future, his goal is to make the travel squad in 2025 as the third quarterback, which he would have to beat out Cole Gonzalez. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But, again, the word on Jet New is he is really, really, really competitive. There's a lot of arm talent there. And there's also, I think if you watch him on tape, you pick up on the fact that there's certainly another level to his game that hasn't been unlocked yet, which is exciting. The only thing I'm maybe concerned about long-term is his mobility, because there's not a whole lot of there's not much of a reference point for Jet New the runner. And so if you're going to thrive in Ben Arbuckle's offense, as he proved with Cam Ward, he can make it work for a guy that doesn't have a ton of mobility. But I don't know what Jet New is going to be able to do as a runner. Just legitimately do not know. It's not me doubting him. It's not me questioning him. It's just me saying, hey, look, I don't know what we're looking at here in that regard.
This is a little off topic, but I've got the NBA Today on ESPN. So it was teased by OU basketball. There was a big announcement coming down. The announcement is that Trae Young has been named Oklahoma assistant GM of the men's basketball program.
Okay, so if he's the assistant GM,
to
who is the GM? We might have to get Brody Lusk on the horn. Have to book him for tomorrow. We got quite a bit to talk about if that's the case.
Yeah.
The GM, and then obviously what's going on in the basketball portal, who Oklahoma is making moves with at this point in time. I was just out there talking to OU photo guy, Mark Desher. There is a portal visitor that is due in town today for Oklahoma. Neither of us know who it is, but apparently there's a portal visitor that's supposed to be in town.
I would have a guess.
Oh, yeah, I have a guess too. But again, this is why we need to get in touch with Brody. He will know. So we'll plan to get him on the show tomorrow. We'll see if we can work that out. But here's something. Actually, this is going to be no doubt a conversation that generates a lot of engagement on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, and I don't want to launch into it full thud if we're running up against a break. So let's hit a little bit of an early timeout here, and we'll extend our final segment a little bit. On the other side, Oklahoma hosted a major 2026 prospect, big name, nationally coveted guy at the tight end position? Yep, you heard that correctly.
That kid's good, too.
Mm-hmm. Come on back. We'll discuss who exactly we are talking about on the other side here on Locked In on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Bleed Crimson? Love great Sooner talk? Join the Ref Army by downloading our free app. Toby and TJ, Plank and Josh, Steelman and Thune, and Teddy and Tyler. We have the Sooner experts. The Ref is home to Sooner fans worldwide.
Make it rain this April at Riverwind Casino.
With big wins and even bigger jackpots. Enjoy the sweet smell of money in the non-smoking oasis.
Get hyped on nearly 3,000 of your favorite electronic games.
Become a legend in the high-stakes lounge.
And get rewarded like the VIP you are when you use your wild card.
Hit nothing but net with the $80,000 Spring Spins and Wins giveaway.
So thunder up and win like a champion, only at Riverwind.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
Do you like to stand out in a crowd while wearing the best in OU apparel? The Jimmy Austin Pro Shop carries the best brands you can wear to work or even dress up events. Lines such as Lululemon, Travis Mathew, FootJoy, Greg Norman, Grayson, or Turtleson with the OU and Jimmy Austin logo are sure to catch everyone's eye. You don't have to be a golfer to shop at Jimmy Austin. They also do corporate special orders for you and your company. Call them today, 405-325-6716, or visit theougolfclub.com for more information.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak. Do you eat, sleep, and breathe football? KREF is the only place for the most comprehensive daily analysis of Sooner and college football. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KREF app today to listen from anywhere.
Dreaming of an escape? What about a relaxing escape to your very own backyard? Signature Custom Pools can turn your dreams into reality. Signature Custom Pools creates distinctive designs to fit your perfect getaway. Call Signature Custom Pools for your free design consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com and turn your backyard into your dream escape.
Entrepreneurs in Moore, Norman, and South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. Moore Norman Technology Center's workforce and economic development team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, Moore Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about Moore Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Once again, if you missed the news, Trae Young, yes, the Trae Young, is apparently going to serve as the new assistant GM for the Oklahoma men's basketball program. And he has donated $1 million to the program's NIL efforts. So there you go. Big, big day for OU Hoops. Been a big couple weeks for OU Hoops here. Parker Thune alongside Grayson Singleton, winding down here on Locked In. Grayson, I'm a little bit creeped out right now. I shouldn't be, because unfortunately this happens enough in this day and age that I've become somewhat accustomed to it. But our phones are listening to us. All of our technology is listening to us. You know how I know this is the case? Well, I could cite probably 30 examples in recent years. But you remember at the top of the show, I mentioned Jimmy Haslam's comments about Deshaun Watson. You brought up the fact that Deshaun Watson recently got engaged, which I had no knowledge of. I don't keep up with celebrities' personal lives. I logged into Instagram during the break. What's the very first thing that pops up on my feed? It's Deshaun Watson's engagement announcement with his fiancée.
Which is so strange because that happened at minimum 10 days ago. That's not breaking news. That should be at the top of your feed.
They're listening to us.
Oh, yeah.
I've long been resigned to this reality. Like, I'll tell you, my dad, for years and years, one of my dad's most common proclamations is that your identity, your personal identity, is constantly at risk of being stolen, and you need to make every possible effort to protect it. And he is incredibly, it feels appropriate to use the word paranoid. He will not say his social security number out loud in any context whatsoever. He will not speak the, whatever it is, 9 digits that comprise his social security number. Me, man, I've just been resigned to the reality for a long, long time that everything about who I am and all of my information has probably been compromised a zillion different ways, and if somebody wants to steal my identity, they could probably steal it. And so sure, yeah, I still take precautions. I maintain a pretty complex system of passwords and all of that. But, I kind of just have a healthy understanding that everything I say and do is being perceived or heard by someone or something. You can't get away from it.
Nope.
It's one of the risks you take engaging in modern society the way that we do. You get behind the wheel of a car, you assume the inherent risk that comes with operating a motor vehicle. You purchase a smartphone, you assume the inherent risk that comes with owning a smartphone.
Does your phone, does your car have Bluetooth in it?
It does.
Does your phone memorize your driving patterns as to where you're going at specific times during the day?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, we're constantly being watched. All of us. Unless you're still living in the boondocks with a rotary phone, getting telegrams and snail mail, you're being watched. Even then, you're probably being watched. I mean, if there are any of you people that are still out there living like that, the FBI is probably watching you most specifically. They probably made it a priority to watch you.
That is called the Amish.
Exactly.
Well, I guess they don't have phones. No, I don't think they do.
What? Are there any concessions that the Amish have made?
I don't know, and I don't
as far
think
as like
so.
technology and the like. Because obviously, I think to engage with many aspects of modern society, you can't live like you lived in the 18th century anymore, right?
Probably not.
And so, like, I imagine even the Amish have had to incorporate some modern innovation into their lifestyles, right?
You would think?
I don't know. I don't know how the Amish live. I've only seen the Amish with my own two eyes on one occasion. It was the fall of 2023, about a year and a half ago. My wife and I went up to Ohio for my sister-in-law's wedding. And I forget where it was in Ohio that we were at, but whatever town they were getting married in Ohio, pretty heavy Amish population.
Did not know that.
Yeah, apparently there are a lot of Amish folks in Ohio. I didn't know this either. I hadn't been to Ohio in upwards of a decade before I went there in the fall of 23. So, yeah, come to find out there are a lot of Amish people in that area. And, yeah, you're out there. I'm out there driving around in my Nissan Rogue, having to steer around a horse and buggy in the middle of the road.
I was just about to say, did they start driving cars yet?
A 580 listener says, the Amish in Clarita, Oklahoma use motorized tractors. There you go.
I didn't know there were Amish people in it. Well, actually I did, because there was a bunch on OSU's campus when I was there.
Powder Puff says, I feel you on that, Parker. My dad does not even have an ATM card. He has his credit card and a checkbook. He refuses to do online banking or anything like that. He still writes checks to pay all of his bills and mails them in.
I exclusively use online banking. Like my dad doesn't even know how to. My dad doesn't even know how to operate a banking app. Like I've probably logged in on a website for my bank, maybe 10 times.
What I'm experiencing right now is like I'm casually, and I say casually, and I mean that in a very genuine sense of the word, I'm casually shopping for a new car. And when I say a new car, I mean a hopefully lightly used car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The car I drive right now is fine, but it's getting up there in mileage. I'd like to get something that's a little bit more fuel efficient. And so I've been perusing Craigslist for quite some time, looking at all the various offerings. And what's unique about Craigslist is that if you've ever engaged with sellers on Craigslist, there's a very high percentage of them that will only take hard cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I realized how much of my life is dependent upon technology and the internet when I realized, man, like, not only do I not carry hard cash, but I have the same bank that I've always had, which is a bank back home in Nebraska. And so if I need to get like a few $1,000s of hard cash, that's going to be pretty tricky to accomplish.
I haven't carried cash ever since I went to college.
So I'm like, I'm hitting these people selling these cars up like, hey, can you take Venmo? I write you a check. Clearly, people on the text line have feelings about Craigslist.
These are very prevailing feelings too. By the way,
this is just what I grew up with. Okay, long as I can remember, my parents never bought a brand new car. My dad would always go find cars on Craigslist. You get some pretty good deals on Craigslist.
I've used Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
To find cars, yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what I should do. Okay, long overdue that we get back around to this. That was a little bit of a tangent on my part, and I apologize. But the Sooners hosted Ian Premer over the weekend. If you are not familiar with Ian Premer, he is from Great Bend, Kansas, and across the board, without exception, one of the absolute top tight end prospects in the entire country. Number 7 in the nation at the position, according to my colleagues at Rivals that deal with the evaluation scouting side of things. I think On3 has him as the number 3 tight end in the nation. So it was Lincoln Cure last year that kind of rose to prominence nationally as a tight end recruit from small town Kansas. In this 2026 cycle, it is Ian Premer. Now, Obviously, Oklahoma already has a tight end commit in Ryder Mix. They would like to take 2 if possible for obvious reasons. You're going to be losing multiple tight ends between now and the start of the 2026 season. So they've had a hat in the ring for close to a year with Ian Premer, and they got him back on campus this weekend. Now, I have not been able to touch base with Ian Premer because a lot of small-town kids across the Midwest that end up being big-time football recruits, I don't know why this is, but they are some of the absolute hardest people to reach. Anybody that's been listening to the show since its inception can recall the headaches that I endured trying to cover Grant Bricks, the outstanding offensive lineman in the 2026 class from Logan, Iowa, that wound up choosing Nebraska over Oklahoma circa Thanksgiving of 2023. But Ian Premer's a really hard dude to get a hold of. Hoping we can get some firsthand insights on the visit and how it all went down, what he thought at some point this week. But for the time being, don't have a whole lot of that. I'll be honest, Grayson. I'm not really under the impression that Oklahoma lands Ian Premer. He's got many of the big-time offers across the country. Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State, etc. Like the big-time tight end schools in particular, the schools that have a reputation for producing excellent tight ends that wind up with NFL futures, they're all over Ian Premer. So, nice that you got him to town. Expectations, in my mind, very, very low.
Ian Premer, I'm going to assume a lot of you have not watched, and I'm going to summarize Ian Premer by this. He is the next Brock Bowers in terms of college to NFL tight end talent.
What?
His first highlights on his huddle. I don't know if you've watched this, Parker. I don't know if you've watched it in a long time. Do you remember what his first highlights on his huddle is?
Refresh my memory here.
It's him returning a kickoff for a touchdown.
Yep, that's right.
As a tight end. He moves like a wide receiver. Do you remember when Evan Ingram was just coming out of college into the NFL?
Yes, I do.
Ian Premer will remind you a lot of that. A tight end's body who can play wide receiver. He moves too well for a tight end. I mean, it's actually pretty terrifying how fast he moves, and he's supposed to be a tight end. I mean, this is a dude who's going to command, by his junior year of college, I can probably project he will command absurd amount of money if he translates to college as well as he looks like he will.
Have you been around long enough to have watched Lincoln Cure's high school tape?
I've not gotten around to his yet.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's at Kansas State now.
Right.
And that was very briefly where it felt like Oklahoma even had a chance. But treat yourself, because everything you said about Ian Premer, exponentially more true about Lincoln Cure. He was my man crush in the 2025 cycle. Ian Premer's a really, really good player. In my mind, he's not Lincoln Cure, but objectively, probably the top tight end in the region in the 26 cycle. And feels like that's a little too good to be true for Oklahoma, especially because the pickings are a lot slimmer than they were in 2025, or in the 2025 cycle, I should say, when Oklahoma had the chance to land one or more of Nate Roberts, Lincoln Cure, Desan Brame, and Chase Lofton. 0 for 4.
And look, Joe John Finley did not put on a great performance with his tight end room last year.
No, that was not great.
I mean, that's going to be an inhibitor. It wasn't good, and quite frankly, it looks like it's off to a pretty interesting start, to say the least, this year. I mean, right now, if you listen to people who cover OU like you do, their top tight end is a linebacker. So I don't know, like his pitch right now isn't the greatest so far.
To wrap us up here on this installment of Locked In, Evan from Blanchard says, being Amish would be great. You get your house built for free, you get cool furniture, there's churned butter on demand, and you get to speak that goofy Pennsylvania Dutch language.
Yeah, I'll still take living in society.
I have yet to hear the Amish dialect with my own 2 ears. But, yeah, free house, cool furniture, churned butter on demand. There's definitely some appeal there. I'll tell you, we got through a lot today. We didn't get through nearly all that there is coming out of this weekend, well, and last week more generally, for Oklahoma and some of their top-tier targets in the 2026 class, guys that were on campus. So we're going to dig into all of that into much more detail tomorrow. We'll be back same time, same place, 2 o'clock p.m. tomorrow afternoon for us here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Don't go anywhere.